Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and this is layout 2 with my Aspen Felicity Jane collection for How to Kill a Kit with Style. So again, I'm loving the navy and mustard color scheme, so I kind of pulled out the same um, groups of colors I used on my last page, but I was really trying not to make this page look too similar. They are somewhat companion pages. They're both documenting things that Marcus and his best man were kind of doing right before the wedding. So the last one was when they were picking up the suit. This is the night before the wedding, and they're so cute. I walked in on them sitting in the spare bedroom floor, and Marcus is showing Austin how to tie his shoes in a really fancy way, like relace them to where they look fancier. And I just thought it was adorable. So I took a picture, definitely wanted to document it. That's his best friend. So and they you were roommates too before before Marcus and I got together. So I actually do have a reason to use a little roommates chipboard piece that I wasn't quite sure if I was going to get used up this month or not. I'm using it on this one because it's documenting him and his former roommate, doing something. Because I didn't want this one to look too similar to the last page, I definitely wanted to pull in some different patterns. And because this particular picture was taken at home, and it's one of the few pictures I have to document around this time taken at the house, I definitely want to use the house patterned paper. So, and a couple of the house motifs. So I definitely wanted a strip of that house pattern on here. I knew I wanted to pull in, because I'm doing this house print that's multicolor, another multicolor pattern. So that's kind of where I started with my design. I really love the idea of having this solid blue scallop overlapping the house pattern on top, and then the background being more the solid navy, because then that gives me a little bit more freedom to use some more multicolored, busier patterns because it's resting on this solid blue. So I'm really hoping I can kind of keep this balanced. I love working with Felicity Jane and just picking a couple like colors to work with. You guys know that about me. The last one was the mustard and the navy with pops of the aqua. This one I'm trying to nudge a little bit out of my comfort zone because there are a lot of really pretty multicolored papers that I typically shy away from. So layout 2 this month, I want to make sure I start using them so I don't have all the multicolored stuff at the end of the month like normal. So my plan is to keep working with the navy and the mustard. I think they just go the best with the photos, but make sure I get pops of the multicolor within this. So I already am kind of a step ahead by using this house paper at the top. But I definitely need a multicolored pattern layer behind the photo. But I love this because the little home sentiment is multicolored, so that right away will help balance as my title the multicolored stuff on the top. But yeah, one of the 6x6 papers that come in this collection is a multicolored diagonal stripe, and that's what I'm going to end up pulling in. But while I'm documenting the house stuff, I had to get this little house die cut used up. I think it's so cute, and I was really worried I wouldn't have a chance to use it this month, which with it being a lot of like wedding type stuff. So that's why I'm getting it on this one, because we're actually in the house as well as that home sentiment. And you can see a bunch of those chipboard pieces I pulled in. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to use more than one, but I am definitely using the roommates one because they were roommates, and that's the best opportunity I have, I think, this month to get that piece used up. But you can kind of see how I'm starting with the layers. I'm thinking I'll have the photo to the lower left-hand corner and branch out horizontally to the right and have that kind of be where that house and my title sits. And now I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate some other multicolored elements to tie into the pattern on the top. So I thought about using these two pocket cards here as maybe a horizontal multicolored thing, but it looked too blocky with how the thick the color blocking was. But I do like that idea of pulling in a multicolored pattern because I think I need something around the picture to kind of tie back into that house pattern. So I'm trying a couple of different things here. I know I want to use another piece of the fringe scallop that come in this collection. So I'm thinking about the aqua I'm kind of moving around the house because I realized that I started to compose this. I'm kind of designing it similar to how I designed the last one by branching out to the side like this. But I think it's different enough because of the scallop at the top and the pattern paper running across the top that it's okay. But this is that diagonal multicolored piece that I thought would look really nice behind the photo to help tie that all in. And that kind of was the perfect touch for me. There's, for me, a little bit too much of it showing now. It looks kind of busier from this top down view than it does in person, but still there's kind of too much of that pattern showing right now. So I'll kind of fiddle with the positioning a little bit, but I liked having the multicolor kind of larger layer and then branching out with all this other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and stick down these horizontal bits. I have a scrap of the navy and white gingham. Definitely getting the fringe piece on here, and then the house and the title will go back to the side on top of that horizontal layer, kind of how I had it before. But I think it's looking really cute. I kind of halfway through this process was like, this is looking a little too similar to the first page. But then I realized, like, you know what, they're literally right next to each other in the book. They kind of are companion pages talking about Marcus and Austin doing these different things to prepare for the wedding. So I feel like it's okay that they're kind of similar. Still going to gut what I can. There's a good chunk of this multicolored stripe covered by the photo, so I'm going to save a chunk of that. And then I'm pretty sure I gut a big square of the navy background where all these layers are going to sit. So it just takes me a minute to do that. But we're early in the month, so I'm still trying to save everything that I can. I'm really glad I have the 6x6 kind of add-on paper pack because it gives me a little bit more freedom by having these extra bits already ready to use. So the first page I only used one of the 12x12s. This one I kind of used two, but I have a lot of scraps left over from like obviously that house pattern paper bit I have the majority of left over. And then I'll have a strip of this navy that I obviously didn't need to use because of that left over. So already trying to save what I can for future pages, but I'm really enjoying the process of working with this kit. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the month already, but I wasn't prepared to, I kind of already told myself after I used my Felicity Jane kit in January, it's like, okay, like, enjoy it while you have it. You're not going to have Felicity Jane for a while. So when my mom gifted me this one, I was like, yay, I don't have to wait. I can play with it again. Because I usually only get one or two Felicity Jane kits a year. So I'm really excited I got another one from her. But I'm piecing this all together. I'm trying to see how much of this background is going to be covered so I can gut that as well. You can see a branding strip I'm kind of hemming and hawing about using on the bottom of the page. I'm really trying to get all the branding strips used up this month, which I'm usually pretty good about using the branding strips. I don't always get all of them, but I really do try to make an effort to use them as they come. But you'll see this month I pull into white and mustard grid. They look like branding strips, but they're scraps from a previous Felicity Jane kit. I kind of was looking through my other Felicity Jane stuff as I pulled this one out, and I was like, the Aspen collection is definitely the priority to get used up this month, but if I had any Felicity Jane scraps left over from other kits I coordinated, I kind of told myself they're there if I want to pull some more in and get some more used up from my stash. So there are two scraps, like skinny scraps of a yellow and white grid that's left over from a previous kit that I pulled in, and they just kind of look like more branding strips, but I think I already used the yellow branding strips in this collection, so I figured if I was looking for another yellow branding strip, I could just use those. So I do get that used up, or one of the pieces used up on this page, but that wasn't originally in the kit, so you'll see that in a bit. It was because, you'll see once I kind of get this all pieced back together, the two horizontal pieces coming out are both blue. There's the navy gingham and the aqua fringe scallop. And I kind of was just wanting some more pops of yellow, so I decided to add the mustard and white grid branding strip underneath the other horizontal bits, just to have a little bit of yellow peeking out of the sides as well. Because I have this yellow or this mustard matte around the photo, I kind of really wanted to pull more of that in. Because even though this one turns out to be more multicolored than the mustard and navy like I was originally thinking it would be, I still want to make sure those colors are balanced. So I'm gluing everything down pretty much where I had it now that I've gutted everything. There's this little piece of this horizontal bit that pokes out to the left that was like the perfect size to put one of these little skinny houses from the sticker sheet down. So I did do the little pink one, and I love that ties in with the pattern paper on the top. And now I'm going through and embellishing a little bit with the chipboard hearts. So I have 1 in 3 different colors to the right by the title. I also added the welcome sentiment because I just felt like welcome home was a really nice sentiment, and Austin is in the military, so he's been out of town for a while. So this was kind of his welcome home back to, hanging out with us, and kind of like our home is his home type of thing. So I thought it was a sweet sentiment to have on that page with him. And then I'm doing my little title at the bottom, or I guess it's subtitle, because I feel like welcome home is my title, but I still wanted to add something else. And again, I'm really trying to draw out the mustard because the mustard isn't standing out as much as I was originally hoping. So I have these kind of orangey mustard freckled fawn tile stickers, and I'm just saying best buds along the bottom just to add another pop of that color, and then a little bit of journaling in white underneath that yellow grid branding strip that just says Marcus showing Austin fancy shoelacing. I had to get this one documented. And at this point, I want to tie in some more of the navy gingham. That's one of the horizontal layers. I took another scrap of that to turn into a tag, so that could be peeking out from the glassine bag that I layered up. So I kind of like how that creates a visual triangle with that pattern and that color, which is really nice. I'm just creating the tag here. I'm going to use a white hole reinforcer, and then I kind of got stuck on the twine. I always like to lace my tags with twine, or they just don't really seem complete. But my go-to twines are white and gold, white and black, and then just the raw kind of brown twine. But I really didn't think like any of those would go very well with this page. I'm not trying to pull in metallics, and there's no black, and I kind of felt like the page is too fresh to have like the raw twine on there. So I ended up going through my ribbon. I have a stash. I have 2 little baggies of twine that different people have kind of sent me that I sneak from every once in a while. I have a box from Jennifer and then a baggie from Ronnie. I'm pretty sure it's one of Ronnie's, but there's this light pink kind of velvety trim. And I kind of feel like the soft pink was a perfect match to the light pink in this collection. And I also was really excited about the texture, but I feel like that light pink against the dark blue background, I really liked that contrast, and it was kind of unexpected. So I'm trying to get this twine on here and kind of get that stuck down. But I really like that. I don't use ribbon a whole lot for my tags. I usually prefer the twine, but I feel like the past couple months I've been using a lot more of the ribbon for my tags, and I'm really liking it. It just carries more weight. So yeah, I'm gluing down the tops of those tags so they stay in position. I don't really want them flopping around. I usually don't care if they flop around if it's twine, but this particular ribbon, it had a front and a back side, and so I really wanted it to stay against the page so the proper side was up. But I kind of thought I was done at this point, and then I was like, it still seems like I need like one more cluster in the opposite corner to kind of help balance and tie in the rest of these bits. So I went back and decided to add a secondary, or I guess it's the third cluster if you count the little pink house to the left there, but I just wanted one more area. I really wanted the mustard to have one more area to shine, so I did a scrap of that mustard grid that I matted my photo in. And so that's going to be the base of my cluster up there. I have the mustard grid and the navy gingham. So I really like that those 2 patterns and colors got to be in one more area. And then again, I'm really trying to take the opportunity to use the houses, since again we're actually at the house in this photo. So I grabbed one more sticker off the sticker sheet that was one of the Navy houses, and I'm popping that up on some foam. So I think that's cute too, because the houses kind of have a visual triangle now. I mean, you have the houses all along the top there on that pattern paper, but I have the big house next to the title, the little pink house to the left, and now this navy house at the top. So I kind of think all of that's cute. And the pink house doesn't have a white halo, which I like because it's going directly over the navy, but because this is a navy house at the top, it really worked out well that that one did have a white halo, because you can see the house stands up to the other patterns that it's going on top of. But I'm going back and I'm adding some more chipboard hearts just to finish it out as my finishing touch, and here are the close-ups. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.